Click on the Setup Light Mix button in the General Settings rollout. Personally, I keep the default settings here, which is the option instanced lights, and click the Generate button. If we now render and go to the Light Mix tab in the Frame Buffer window, you will see a list of all the lights we have in the scene. For now we have 2 lights, the light from the sun, Corona Sun, and the light from the environment, Skylight. What we can do from this tab is to turn on and off lights. If I disable the Corona Sun 001, here's the result we get from the environment light. We can also adjust the intensity of a light. Let me enable again the sun and make it 0.5. Now, we have a softer sunlight entering the room. Moreover, we can click on the color field and change the color of the light. So, Light Mix allows us to play with the lights of the scene and create different lighting scenarios. You will realize how much it comes in handy later when we will see the artificial lighting of the scene. Corona keeps all this information saved, so if I close the Frame Buffer window and hit the Render button again, all this info will reapply to the next render. Go to the Render Setup window, to the Scene tab, and to the General Settings rollout. In the Progressive Rendering Limits section, we can set the rendering time and the noise level. As its name denotes, in the time limit fields we set the rendering time. So, if I set 5 minutes,
Past limits, Nolly.
the scene will render for 5 minutes and then it will stop no matter the noise level at that point. While in the noise level limit field, we set the desired noise level. A good range of values to set here so that our render is clean is between 2 to 4. The lower we set it, the cleaner the image we get, but at the same time the longer it needs to be calculated. Personally, I set the noise level to 3%. The software will render the scene until one of these reaches its limit first. So, if for instance I set here 5 minutes and a noise level of 3% and press render, the scene will render for 5 minutes and then it will stop, although the noise level limit is not 3%, but much higher. To see what the noise level of our render is, go to the Stats tab in the Frame Buffer window. In the Performance section we see that the target is 3% and next to it is the current noise level. And we can see that for the 5 minutes rendering time that we set, the noise level is approximately 7%. And the render stopped after 5 minutes, although it didn't reach the goal of 3%. Personally, when I do my test renders, I set the time limit to 5 to 10 minutes and I'm not interested in the noise level. This way the scene will render for 5 to 10 minutes and then it will stop rendering no matter the noise level at that point. Once I have finalized my scene and I'm ready to render the final image, I will set the time limit to 0 and I will go to the noise level limit and set it to 3%. This way I will get a clean image. Going back to the Render Setup window, if we click on the Show VFB button, the Frame Buffer will If we click on the Start Interactive button, we start the interactive rendering. The interactive rendering allows us to work on the scene, while the viewport is